All right, we're back. We're back with another week of The Artist's Way. This is week 9, recovering a sense of compassion. So what to expect for our week of recovering a sense of compassion? Let's see what it says. This week finds us facing the internal blocks to creativity. It may be tempting to abandon ship at this point. That's hilarious, because if you saw the previous video, you know it's been like a month since I read the previous chapter. So did I abandon ship? I wouldn't say so, because I came back, but did I go for an extra long swim away from the ship? I did, but I was anchored to it with like a, like you have a tether to a surfboard. I had a tether to the ship, so I was like, I'll be back, but not right away. So it may be tempting to abandon ship at this point. Don't. We will explore and acknowledge the emotional difficulties that beset us in the past as we made creative efforts. We will undertake healing the shame of past failures. We will gain in compassion as we reparent the frightened artist child who yearns for creative accomplishment. We will learn tools to dismantle emotional blocks and support renewed risk. Well, I think that sounds great. So let's dive in. All right, welcome back. Just a couple seconds later, I have fully given up, I will say, on doing montages in between the beginning and the end. We're keeping this short and sweet. We're just getting to the point. So let's dive into week 9, recovering a sense of compassion. I was just reflecting in my little notebook on the activities I had done. I'll share that first, because as I'm looking at this, and again, of course, as you know, if you've been following this series, this is not all happening like weekly anymore. It's happening at bigger intervals of time. So I haven't looked at this in a bit. And as I look at it and see, there's a part here where you're setting what your goals are for the year, then your goals for the month, and your goals for the week. And it's nice to look back at it and see, even though I just did this all very quickly, like, yes, we are on point with all of these things. And even a specific thing about the covers for some books, a new cover for one, and yeah, those are all actually happening, and that's really cool. So let's dive in and see what was highlighted for week 9. I love the theme of compassion. So let's see, the first chunk here is about fear. The blocked artist does not know how to begin with baby steps. Instead, the blocked artist thinks in terms of great, big, scary, impossible tasks. A novel, a feature film, a one-person show, an opera. When these large tasks are not accomplished or even begun, the blocked artist calls that laziness. Do not call the inability to start laziness, call it fear. Oh, I think that is so powerful, so true. Yeah, it's so easy to look at the big finished goal that we'd like to accomplish, and so much harder to sit down and do 15 minutes of work today. In that same section, 2 more sentences. The need to be a great artist makes it hard to be an artist. The need to produce a great work of art makes it hard to produce any art at all. I think this comes back to the whole idea of like the shitty first draft. I was just thinking about this again recently, like how important it is to give yourself permission that first draft can be awful. And it's harder with each subsequent book, because at this point now, I know that the first draft ends up having a lot of good stuff in it. So I expect it to still have that good stuff in it, but it only works if I tell myself, no, it can be terrible. And I've had this twice recently with 2 different projects that I've let sit for a while, largely because the point I was at with them, I was really thinking they were awful. And as I've gone back to one which is in the process of being drafted and one which is in edits, as I've revisited both of them, I'm like, I enjoy this. There's a lot that's really nice about it, but it's so hard in the creation process to remember that, or no, not remember it, but to forget that there can be some good stuff in there. In the initial creating process, it has to be like, no, this is terrible, but it's who used the description, the metaphor of shoveling sand, like that's the first the first draft's job. You're just shoveling sand. And then in the subsequent drafts, that's when you make it into something. Let's see, the next section is about enthusiasm. Over any extended period of time, being an artist requires enthusiasm more than discipline. Enthusiasm is not an emotional state. It is a spiritual commitment, a loving surrender to our creative process, a loving recognition of all the creativity around us. And then another couple paragraphs down. True, our artist may rise at dawn to greet the typewriter or easel in the morning stillness, but this event has more to do with a child's love of secret adventure than with ironclad discipline. What other people may view as discipline is actually a play date that we make with our artist child. I'll meet you at 6 a.m. and we'll goof around with that script, painting, sculpture. Really love that. And then there's a section here about creative U-turns, which is really interesting. Section about blasting through blocks. Okay, I didn't highlight any more in there. I just did, as I said at the beginning, this task here. Which one was it? Priorities, yeah. So I didn't highlight a lot this week. The goal for me at this point is really just to keep this journey going, at my own pace, whatever pace that is, and to revisit it as often as it's beneficial to do so. So I'll be back again soon with the next week. If you feel like joining in or getting back into it, maybe you, like me, have done part of the journey and you want to revisit it, here's your little encouragement to go ahead and do so, and I will see you next time.